The weather has really been on my side these last couple of weeks. It's been rainy and moody and amazing, just perfect for me because I can wear long sleeves in the summer now, which is kind of unheard of in Romania, so I'm having the best summer. Even so, I was feeling a little bit down the last few days, and I wanted to read something easy breezy to kind of get me back into reading because I've been feeling like I'm getting a little bit into a slump. I decided to do some mood reading. Welcome to the vlog. This is a vlog of me picking up pretty much anything and everything. My name is Amy. I am a Christian booktuber that enjoys reading pretty much everything. I do like secular books, but I usually offer up a Christian perspective on these books. So if that sounds interesting to you, please hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. So the book that I decided to pick up is The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd Jones. I recently bought this secondhand, not really knowing what it was. I read the synopsis of it and I thought it sounded really interesting. It's a YA fantasy that also has a subplot of romance, which is pretty much right up my alley. I am quite picky about YA, but lately I've been enjoying it more and more because it's clean and it's a lot more wholesome generally than adult books are. It's also inspired by Welsh fairy tales and mythology, so that sounded really interesting to me. This follows Mare, who used to work for a prince, but now she's on the run from this exact prince. What's special about her is that she can control water, and this is, of course, sought after, but also very rare and not really allowed generally in the kingdom. So she teams up with her former trainer as well as a new character, Fane, who also has a certain form of magic, and together they want to take down the prince. So I've already read about 80 pages of this book, and until now I'm really enjoying it. It's reminding me of Six of Crows to a certain extent. After realizing that it reminded me of Six of Crows, I read on the back that it's part heist story, so that might be why, but also I'm not at the heist part yet. I think it's just reminding me of Six of Crows because of the writing style. It's a little tropey, but in a really fun way. It's quite fast-paced, the characters are fun, so I'm having a good time until now. I'm also really liking the Welsh inspirations. So you have certain mythological creatures. There is a creature that's a little bit like a fairy, but it has a Welsh name and it's very specific for their mythology. I wrote it down, but I'm not gonna pronounce it because I don't want to offend the Welsh people. So I am enjoying this. I think it's really fun. I'll let you know what I think further on, but what I'm really excited about is the fact that in just about an hour I am going to go and watch the Odyssey. I am going to the cinema because I thought of all the movies to go watch at a cinema, the Odyssey is it, right? Like I have to see what Christopher Nolan is up to in this one. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'll let you know if I enjoy it or not, but I'm going with my husband. I'm gonna get snacks. I'm gonna have a great time. I'm so excited. But first, of course, some reading. It's a couple of days later, and I wanted to update you both on the movie and the book. Whoa, I almost dropped my book. So first of all, the movie. I did go and watch the Odyssey. I was initially kind of skeptical about whether or not I should go and watch it because of all of the drama surrounding it, but then I was getting more information about it on the internet. I was getting like suggested videos about the movie on YouTube, and it was mainly about how the movie was made, and I am a pretty big movie nerd, not as much as I am a book nerd. I'm one of those people that has an entire Wikipedia of actors in her brain. I have IMDb memorized, that kind of thing. When I saw that there were so many interesting things about how the movie was made, I decided I needed to watch it, and I was telling my husband, who is also a big, like, not necessarily a movie nerd, but he's a camera nerd. I was telling him about the movie, and he got really excited as well. So this movie is entirely filmed in IMAX. The technique behind all of that is so fascinating. I was not disappointed, and the movie itself is beautiful, so I really enjoyed the movie, both from a technical point of view, but also from like a storyline perspective. I thought it was really well done. The pacing was amazing. The visuals were incredible. I would say if you're not really into a bit more violent movies, this might not be for you. It's a lot less violent than I expected it to be, honestly. I'm very happy to say that there's almost no swearing in it, and there's no sexual content in it. So I was very shocked about that. I'm very happily surprised by just how PG this movie is, because I would expect with the base of the story, the foundation of it being really violent and the context of the storyline, I thought that they might, you could create something very violent and very gratuitous out of the storyline, and that's not the case. There's so much to pay attention to. The soundtrack is incredible, and I would suggest before going to watch it, if you're interested in watching it, just look up some of the stuff about how the movie was made, because it really heightened my experience. So I really enjoyed it. Matt Damon was really good in it, which it's not that I'm not a Matt Damon fan, it's just I can't say that I am a fan. Like, it's not, I don't have anything against him, I just don't have anything for him. My husband actually called it a perfect movie. If you trust his advice, which I don't know why you would, I trust his advice and his suggestions, so maybe take his. But now on to the book. So I finished The Drowned Woods. Let me just take my notes out of the book, because I usually write a little sticky card with everything that I thought about the book. So I very briefly told you what this book was about. Let me just reiterate. This is about Mare, or Merider, who is a water diviner, and she used to work for the prince. Actually, not just work, she was held captive by the prince. However, now she has escaped. She is found by the prince's spymaster, who is also her previous tutor, who asks if she would like to basically take down the prince as an act of revenge. And in order to do this, they have to find a magical well. To reach that is, of course, an entire journey. There's a whole adventure. There's many obstacles, and in order to be able to surpass each obstacle, they require a team. It's very Ocean's 11 vibes, looking for the right person to fulfill a certain role in the team. And in this team, we also have Fane, who has magic that was gifted to him by what we would today call fairies, who are like the magic folk. And of course, there's a little romance between Fane and Mare. So my overall thoughts about this: I really enjoyed the fact that it was steeped in Welsh folklore and legends. There are so many examples of creatures that are taken from Welsh folklore. I will put them right here, the words for these creatures, because I cannot pronounce that. All my respect to the Welsh people, because their language is something else, truly. But I did enjoy that aspect, because I started to look into all of these legends and these different animals from these magical tales. Particularly liked a magical horse that lives in mountain lakes or mountain rivers, and the legend says that it compels people to ride it, and then the version that has wings will fly away and then dissolve into water, so the people fall to their death. So there's that kind of legend. Very interesting because they're completely different to the legends of Romania or of Belgium. It gave me a lot of joy to just kind of look them up and see what these creatures look like and then try to imagine them in the storyline. So I thought that was really fun. Initially, this really made me think of Six of Crows. I think I said that before as well. However, later on, that kind of faltered for me because these characters, in my opinion, are not as lovable and as united as the characters in Six of Crows. One of the main reasons why I love the duology of Six of Crows is because the characters are they're so specific and they're so distinct. And although they have their flaws, you still love them, and you can really empathize with their cause, or at least with their struggles. And in this case, most of the characters really fell flat for me. Even Mare wasn't that complex or didn't really interest me. The only one that I genuinely cared about was Fane, because we got a bit of backstory when it came to him, and I found it really compelling. I felt like the plot didn't help either. It felt undercooked at certain moments in the storyline. I found that most of the story, I'm not sure how much, but I'm gonna say maybe like half of it was spent on getting the team together. And if we had gotten these great backstories about all of them, that wouldn't have been an issue. But here I kept thinking, is this the start of a trilogy or maybe a duology? Because we haven't even started our journey really yet. And then once it started, it was over in 100 pages. So I was expecting a lot more complex plot points. Sad to say that neither the characters nor the plot were as developed as I would have wanted them to be. What I did enjoy was the overall tone of the book. It was really easy to read, really fun. Like I said, a lot of folk inspirations. It felt like a fairy tale at certain instances. There's chapters like this. Can you see that? There's chapters like this that are just kind of written in italics, and it's 2-3 page chapters, and there are backstories to mostly Fane or Mare, and they feel like fairy tales. So this one, for example, there was a boy. He had once been the son of a locksmith. Examples like that, and I did enjoy that. It made it feel really whimsical, but yeah, in the end, quite lacking in depth in my point of view. But yeah, that is book number 1 here. Now for the second book that I'm going to read, I think I want to continue with the whole fantasy situation. I'm feeling really inspired by both the movie that I watched, and Lauren and Paris were talking about this book a few weeks or maybe a month or 2 ago, a little while back anyways, and I was so intrigued to pick it up that I actually bought it recently, and now I just really want to see what the hype is about. So I am gonna pick up The Shadow of the Gods. I'm so excited about this because it's a Norse-inspired epic fantasy. As far as I understood, it's quite political, but it also has a magic system that's supposed to be really interesting. Of course, I don't know what it is about just yet. Will let you know what I think. But I'm so excited about this, and I can't wait. Yay! I will check in with you later. to admit that I'm actually really sad to be done with this book. It was such an interesting read, and I'm so glad that I took this recommendation because it was amazing. Truly, I think this will be one of my new favorite fantasy series. For a little bit of a synopsis, this follows 3 main characters as they all have different quests. One is looking for her son, one has decided to join a very specific group because they want a ritual to be done so they can communicate with their deceased sibling. One is already in a very famous war band, and it follows their journey as they look for fame and gold. These 3 stories kind of converge on certain points, but also they're amazing as self-standing plot lines. The reason why this is so amazing is because these characters are so lovable. They're not, sweet, or they don't do these really heartwarming things. But at some point I was thinking which of the 3 plot lines was my favorite because of the character, because usually I love a specific plot line more than another because I love the character more, and I couldn't come up with an answer because I was thinking, okay, I love Orca, for example, because I find it really heartwarming that how she could do anything and everything to find her son, but then I was so invested in the friendship connections in another plot line, so I could not genuinely come up with an answer to it. And I think that's the strong suit of this book. You are never bored. You are never waiting for the other character's story to restart. Sometimes you have that when you have multiple perspectives. While you're reading one of the stories, you're just kind of awaiting the return to the other story that you enjoy more. There's great characters in each one. There's such intrigue and action and drama in each one, but there's also so much heart, just lovability to the interactions between all of these characters. I genuinely love the world building. It's so rich, dark, and moody. I think this book is perfect for the end of autumn, start of summer. Not start of summer. I mean, I read this in summer. I didn't mind it that much, but trust me, this is more like a winter book. I think the snowy setting, the really moody and gritty atmosphere of the book is perfect for the end of autumn, start of winter, in my opinion. I am really intrigued to start book 2. I think I'm gonna love this entire series. Thank you to Lauren and Paris for recommending this, because even though they are correct in saying that it's very graphic, so if you don't enjoy violence in books, or you can't really stomach very visual war scenes, fighting scenes, this is very graphic. So there's a lot of dismemberment. There's a lot of very vivid descriptions of war, which is actually one of the elements of this book that I enjoyed most, because a lot of times I get lost in that kind of fighting scenes, but here I could visualize the entire thing happening. It was so action-packed and done in a way that I cared about these characters in these fight scenes. One little qualm that I have with this that just frustrated me so much. They don't use the word for mind or brain. They call it a thought cage, which I thoroughly hate. It makes me cringe from the depth of my soul. I hate it. I hate it. Just say in my mind. Just say in my brain. Just say, and like, they're like, I was mulling it over in my thought cage. Be serious. Just say brain. I don't know why that choice was made. It frustrated me so much. This was a 4.5 or a 4.25, but I genuinely think that the second book has potential to be a 5-star for me, depending on where it goes. The 0.5 was taken off because of the rough start I had with it, but this series has potential to be it for me. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Let me know if you've read either of these books. I would love to hear your thoughts, especially, of course, regarding this one. Let me know who your favorite character is if you have read it, because as I've said, I am undecided currently, so I would love to maybe make up my mind with you. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have a blessed day. See you next time. Bye!